Peace family, Vie Darling, the Cosmic Queen, into your intergalactic interpreter. We're doing another cosmic tea, y'all. It is the 4th of June, and it's Sunday, which means, and the sun is giving. The sun is giving this beautiful, miraculous Sunday. So much to be grateful for. So much to be grateful for. This weekend was a real doozy in terms of just like energy and interaction and feelings. I heard a lot of people talking about how they felt like really sad and just wanted to stay home, and I was just like, yo, it's a full moon. Of course you want to be at home. Who doesn't want to be at home during a full moon? You feel me? And that's why I think that like this practice is so important to me and it's so helpful for me, is because I don't internalize the goings on of the cosmos. I don't personalize the goings on of the cosmos. All of that shit is up to the universe. How it affects me, that's personal, yes. But the fact that I'm being faced with those things is not personal. It's cosmic. It's cosmic and it's collective. And I'll say this much too. I see it as an opportunity. I see it as an opportunity. Y'all already know that. I see it as an opportunity to get free. Whatever it is that's plaguing me, if it's pissing me off, if it's making me sad, this is an opportunity. It's illuminating what needs to be addressed, and it's therefore giving me the opportunity to address it. Yo, I love a Saturday. I love a good Saturday. I really do. Rest and relaxation. If you were trying to do the most this past weekend and you were not able to, don't take it as if you are lazy, incompetent, incapable. You were not meant to. It was a very insular weekend. How many times did we get the Hermit in the reading for the weekend, and the full moon? Full moon in tropical Sag, full moon in sidereal Scorpio. Y'all, I know this table's my work table, so I'm just clearing up all of my stuff because I was working on some art objects that I make for my brand Junk Limited, and you know, I wanted to work on that more than I did this weekend, but I don't care. It happens when it's meant to happen. And so this is really a time that's been showing us how to surrender to the universe. I am currently washing clothes, so I'll probably have to get up a couple of times. But yeah, so what's the energy? How are y'all doing? I think I already answered how folks are doing. You were probably contacted by somebody who you don't really want to hear from, or their energy may have continually came up in your field. And I want you to know that the reason for this is, as I said, it's an opportunity for you to get clear on what needs to be clarified. Is this a relationship that you feel is worth coming back to? For me, nobody reached out to me in the 3D, but they were definitely reaching out in the ethers. Definitely reaching out in the ethers. And I was able to get clear on some things. I was able to get clear on, you know, who I do and who I don't feel like I am ever able to have an interpersonal relationship in the 3D with ever again. And I was able to get clear on like some really deep-seated things, some really deep-seated truths that I still was struggling to admit to myself. Mainly because I want to sit here and be like, oh, I'm so compassionate, I'm so highly evolved that like somebody can hurt me so deeply and I just forgive them. And I'm not even mad like that. Like, you know, I'm bless them, change me, I'm gonna pray for them. And that's true. That's true. I have that experience. But right now, I'm angry. And that's okay. And I need to allow myself to feel that so that it doesn't metastasize in my body and turn into an impediment that keeps me from being able to progress. And that down the line is going to rear its ugly head and cause me problems. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be like, pause. Like they said, the washing machine. Keeping time. Like I said, it's gonna come back and rear its ugly head, and it's gonna cause me to, in that moment, be like, oh my God, why is it always me? Why is this happening? And it's like, you know why it's happening, because you let it happen. That's not true every time, but in this case, it is. So for the overall energy for this week, we have Tiger Eye, balance your whole being. I have a Tiger Eye, it's tumbled, so it's polished, and it doesn't look quite like this. It has a more, the striations are there, but it has a more captivating, perhaps adventurescence is the word. Balance your whole being. And Amber, recharge your good vibes. So this is a week where we're gonna really want to like take it easy. Don't try and do too much. 𝗪𝗲𝗍 at the bottom of the deck. Expand your consciousness. And it's this color. So I'm getting like divine consciousness coming in here. And divine wisdom, sophistication, refinement. And I feel like this is really, once again, understanding, like before where it was like, I am struggling to figure out where to distribute my energy. And like, I am putting my foot down, perhaps in some other cases. This is gonna be us finding the ease that, the ease of that practice, you know, like allowing ourselves to slow down, allowing ourselves to pause, you know, allowing ourselves to be like, I don't need to do all this, you know, what is serving me, what isn't serving me. I'm gonna give my energy to what is serving me, and contingent upon how much it's serving me is how much I'm gonna give to it. Okay, so hello, hi. Let's give the example of work-life balance, because we do have balance your whole being. If you have a job, you have maybe, you have a job, right? And it doesn't pay all your bills. You don't need to give it all of your attention and energy. If you have an internship and a job, and the internship is in the field that you want to build a career in, but the job is just a job that's helping you to make ends meet. You know, it's about figuring out that balance, and that's individual to each of us. But I would really consider like how beneficial each of these different things is in your life. If you're doing something that is simply helping you to get along, divest your energy consciously, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and start investing it into the whatever it is that you want to continue or that you want to call in. And, you know, going back to the example of like work-life balance, it doesn't have to be the capitalist idea of like work. It can also be like, how are you progressing past the point of just being an intern? How are you progressing your business as a freelancer, perhaps? I'll talk about it in terms of like fashion. So maybe you are interning at a fashion magazine, but you work at a service job. You work at a cupcake shop, or like, yeah, you work at a cupcake shop, but you have a fashion magazine internship. And what you really want is to be a celebrity stylist or whatever. You don't really need to give all of your energy to either of those things. You can actually give as much. Don't put any passion or energy into the thing that's just helping you to make ends meet. Don't have that take up space in your mind as like the end all be all. Always know that that is temporary, and as long as it's serving you, that's all that it is. But don't ever give your full self to that. The internships notoriously do not support your entire life. Yes, it is contributing to your dream, but it is not supporting your entire life. So no need to give your full self to that either, but bearing in mind that that is the thing that is the realm in which you actually want to work, you can invest more passion into that. Care. You really want to do the bare minimum in bare minimum situations. In fact, you don't really want to even be in bare minimum situations, but if you have to be, in this example, you have to. You have to because you need to make ends meet. You have this internship. The internship could get you, it will definitely help you, but there's no promise that you're going to get a full-time position at this fashion magazine. So you just get what you can and have no loyalty to this business. It is just a stepping stone to you having your international styling company of your own. Meanwhile, you start investing all of your real passion and care and energy in that. Don't let these two other things drain you of being able to actually build what you are building for yourself, your empire. So whether that is you start a new Instagram, you make a website, you start creating content for your brand, you start taking classes on how to own and operate a business. You know, if you're a student, put your energy into that, because that's actually going to help you if you have actually chosen to you know, go into your field. If you're just at school wasting time on like, oh, I just need a degree, don't, like, you are exactly the person who needs to hear this. You know what I mean? Like, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your energy and you're wasting your money for what? I just need a degree. You know what I mean? For what? Why do you just need a degree? Do everything with intention, I guess Spirit is saying. Everything with intention. You know, with that extra time that you have, if you are like, oh my God, I have to be the best cupcake shop worker there ever was, but you don't want to, that's not your end all be all, why do you have to be that? You know what I mean? So don't let that become your, you know, don't let that become your thing, because you're going to end up resenting it. You know, start putting yourself out there, start going to networking events and meeting people, giving them your business card, exchanging your Instagram, your social media, whatever, you know, start doing gigs, you know what I mean? Like, actually contribute to your future in the realm that you want it to be in. Stop investing in things that are not investing in you. Because let me tell you something, you know, working a survival job, they're not investing in you, they're investing in themselves. Them paying you is an investment in themselves and their business, because they need you to operate the business. Class consciousness, okay? However, if you're like, oh, like, I need to go to work because they asked me to come in on my day off, and I know they really value me and there's nobody else who can do it. I don't want to go. I really need this day off, but like, I don't want the shop to fail. The shop's not going to fail. And if they fire you because of that, then first of all, that's wrongful termination. And second of all, fuck them. Then that is your permission to go out and do something more aligned with you. If you're working at a cupcake shop and you want to be in fashion, why don't you go work at a retailer? You know what I mean? Maybe it's the opportunity for you to, instead of, you know, just being an intern at this fashion magazine, you are also working at a clothing store. Or, you know, you get an actual job in being the assistant to a stylist. You know, if you didn't get fired from that job, you would not have been online looking for a job when that stylist posted the listing for you looking for a personal assistant. And this person pays the same, if not better, than the cupcake job. You know what I mean? And maybe it has less hours, but that could also be a blessing, because now you have more time and energy to put into your building your business, your freelance stuff. And I'm saying this if you're not struggling to survive, if you're not experiencing poverty, because this is completely different if you are experiencing poverty. But remember, this is just an example. But I think that somebody needs to hear this. If you are not experiencing poverty, you might be like, oh, well, this other job is perfect for what I'm trying to do. Like, you have your career trajectory all mapped out. And it's like, well, that was the next step in my career trajectory, but like, this doesn't have the same amount of hours as my cupcake job, and I really need the money. Or like, I don't want to, it pays the same, but I'm not going to get as many hours. This could be an opportunity for you to start investing more into your business. And instead of constantly waiting, being dependent on somebody else to tell you what hours you're going to work and how much money you're going to make, you now have more room in your schedule to do your freelance styling gigs. You now have more room in your schedule. And then sometimes, you know, you get extra hours with this person. You're networking, you're hobnobbing with the big shots. You know what I mean? But now you have more time in your schedule to freelance. Now you have more time in your schedule to go and source the items that you're looking for. And you didn't think about this ever before, but now that you have all this time and like you're doing all this stuff, you're like, you know what, let me start an online store. And you start like an online store, and you're making more with that than you would have having that other job. So now you have your side hustles, two streams of income, and your internship and your job with this designer. And everything you're doing now is aligned with your dream career, your dream business, your dream goal, your empire. Rather than having so much time and energy sucked up by something that has nothing to do with you. Okay, I'm gonna pause and handle my laundry real quick. sorry that took a little bit, y'all. I usually do this Saturday and not Sunday, so but anyway, I'm gonna try to just like be quick about it and like make it so that I don't have to get up again. But something that I just want to say is like, stay on the ball. Remember what your goal is. Remember what your intention is. Maybe this has to do with work-life balance, which I think for a lot of y'all it does, but it's also any way that you're experiencing an imbalance in your life. If you're experiencing an imbalance in your relationships, like, you know, even in terms of dating, like, why waste time with, if you know that you want to get married, right? Don't make decisions out of fear, I guess, and like lack mentality is what's coming through here. Expand your consciousness at the bottom of the deck with 𝗪𝗁. Who needs it? Storytellers, soothsayers, healers, therapists, psychics, wherever you translate inspiration into the written or spoken word. It's a go-to stone for those looking to channel messages from on high or explore the possibilities of supernatural communication. Under that, feed your fires. But you know, with recharge your good vibes with amber and balance your whole being with tiger eye. Look at this. This is very much grounded, rooted energy. This is very much like yellow, orange, brown type energy. So we're in the lower chakras. We're specifically, I'm thinking like sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra. This is really telling me to get grounded here. And don't have these lofty ideals. Don't be off in la la land imagining like, oh, what could be. No, what is happening right now. You know, like for some people it's going to be like relationships. If you're on the dating apps and it's asking you, what are you looking for? If you're dating someone and it's like, oh, so what are you looking for? And you're like, you know that you're looking for marriage, and you know that you're looking for a serious relationship with the potential of becoming a marriage relationship, but you're afraid to say that because you're afraid to look desperate or clingy or whatever, like. And so because of fear and because of lack and because you're afraid of being alone, you're afraid that you're not going to get what you want because you are living in a scarcity mindset. You be like, oh, well, you know, I don't really know what I'm looking for. Stop lying. You know exactly what you're looking for. I'm just trying to see where this can go, you know? Is that really what you're looking for? Are you going to be out here living like you're trying to have a bunch of one-night stands and entertaining people like that when you know that what you're looking for is a marriage? Why are you wasting your time and energy? Because you don't value yourself. So I think that this really has a lot to do with like valuation of self and valuing your energy and understanding the preciousness of your energy and understanding where you are distributing it. Okay, say that you're dating a couple of people. Maybe you're dating like 4 people at the same time. You're not hooking up with all of them, but you're dating like 4 people. You're just in the talking phase. You know what I mean? You're going on dates. I'm hearing Drake's like, yeah, I talk to her, but she don't do enough. So person number 1, you talk to them. They're really attractive. They have the looks. All these people, you know, person number 1 has the looks, but they really have unsteady income. They don't have a job with a lot of longevity. So maybe they're like a model or an athlete or an artist or an entertainer. Maybe they are a grad student or a PhD or something like that, and they don't have generational wealth. They're making it by, but they're really good looking. And you enjoy hanging out with them, but y'all, most of the shit that y'all do is like free stuff. Like going to galleries and stuff like that. You know, and you're looking to get married. You're looking for somebody who is on your level, has stability, is ready. And this is just an example, okay? Person number 2 is, so let me just say, person number 1, great, but kind of broke. And if you entered into a relationship with them, they're not able to support you. They're barely even supporting themselves. You want kids, they also want kids, and they also want to get married, but they're not in that place right now. And it's going to be a while before they are in that place. Person number 2, not exactly your type, but, you know, hello, hi. You know, they're making money. They have a great job, very stable income. You enjoy the dates that y'all go on, but they also are not interesting. You don't find them to be interesting. You find them to be very boring, and you know, they're really nice, but like they're also really, really boring. Person number 3 is really great looking, but also really boring, and they are taking you on dates and stuff, but like they always need to show you the receipt of how much they spent on you. And you know, they're definitely penny pinching and counting pennies, even though they don't really need to. And then there's person number 4, and person number 4 is not exactly your type, but they have a great job. They're really interesting. You really enjoy spending time with them. But they're not really looking, they're not looking for a serious relationship. They got out of a serious relationship relatively recently, and also they want to be married one day, but they don't want kids. These are the 4 people that you're dating. You don't need to date any of them. You know what your standards are. Your standards are, you need somebody who you're not super focused on looks, let's put it that way. You know, they clean up nice and you don't mind looking at them. Not to say like, oh, they're ugly or something like that, but like, you know, if what you're attracted to is like supermodels, like not everybody's gonna look like that, okay? But you know, they gotta clean up nice, they look nice, they take care of themselves, they have good hygiene, you know, they have stable, steady income, they are career driven, and you know, ultimately, like, you want a family, you want to be financially independent, you want to get married within the next few years, and you're looking for a protector and a provider. And the reason why you don't want to settle on any of these people is person number 1, they are not able to give you that in this moment. In this moment, okay, maybe they have potential, but like if you don't find your person in 3 years, and in 3 years when they have finished grad school and have had the job that they want and they're ready to like protect and provide and be a stable member of this partnership, then y'all can be together if you still haven't found the right person for you yet, but not right now. Person number 2, I think that they were all right looking, but really, really nice, really generous, creative dates and stuff like that, or like taking you on dates, and they are boring. You know something, who wants to be around someone that bores them? Because you're not going to end up, you can't build a life with someone that you don't find interesting and that you cannot grow and create something with. Person number 3 is really good looking, I think I said, and they have a really good job and career, but they're stingy as hell, and they rub it in your face how much they're spending on you. And you know what? If somebody is stingy about money, they're going to be stingy about time, about energy, about all of those things. You know what I mean? And they're also expecting you to, like, it's just going to be a codependent relationship where you're going to end up drained. So it's a no. Person number 4 You know, I think I said like they're really, oh, and also I think one of them was also boring too. But this other person, yeah, person number 4 has a good job and whatever, but is like really boring as well, and is really attractive, but like whatever, you know. And oh, they don't have they don't want to be in a serious relationship, and they don't want kids, and you are looking to get married in the next few years, and you want kids. Why would you spend time building something with somebody like that who does not share your vision for the future? What we're being called to do is connect with people and build with people who share our vision for the future. And what I'm really seeing here, what is really coming to mind for me here, is the Soul Tribe card in Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle. Because as I've been saying, we are coming into divine union, and divine union is not just, you know, it's lifestyle, people, places, and things. Yes, it is our partner. Yes, it is but it's also our friend group. It's also where we live. It's also where we work. It's also how we spend our free time. This is your entire 3D matrix, is what we're talking about with lifestyle. Okay, it's also your income. It's also your expenses. You know, what are you investing your time and energy into? All right, so that's what I mean when I talk about divine union. And let me tell you, the Great Gathering, this card. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits Soul Tribe. Okay? Don't waste time on because all that's going to do is create resentments. All that's going to do is create that's going to create a situation in which you're trying to control people and make them into something that they're not. And actually having respect for other people's autonomy and agency is to leave them alone to be the person that they want to be. Just because they're not the person that they could be in your eyes does not mean that they're not the person that they want to be. Okay? Even if they're doing things that are self-destructive, they want to be doing those things. Otherwise, they would be choosing to do whatever it takes to not do those things. Okay, so really think about that. With this work-life balance thing that's coming up here, oh, look at Capricorn. Oh, of course. We have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Is this the sidereal chart or the tropical chart? Pluto retrograde in Capricorn at 5 degrees and 55 seconds, 555 in the second house, but also 5 in tarot can be a number of contention. Whereas 5 in numerology is, I would say, like self-expression and creativity. So yeah, this is a moment of contention between, and it's also making a direct opposition to Venus at 5 degrees and 7 seconds of Cancer. (555) also boils down to 6 in numerology. So this is about the structures of what the practicalities of what we want and what we have to change in order to actually attract that. You know, it might feel easier to stay stuck in paradigms that you don't actually want to be in and that you don't feel fulfilled by. It might feel easier, and Venus is in the 8th house. Mars is also here, and Dark Moon Lilith is also here. So this is really encouraging us to take a look at how we are contributing to being out of alignment. You know, once again, as I said, like how are we investing our energy? And I talk about this, like programming our matrix. If using the examples that I used before of like work life, if we're spending so much of our time and energy and so much of our passion and care into a job that doesn't even sustain us, or that we don't even like, or that has nothing to do with our end vision for our career, then that's what we're programming our matrix with. And I guarantee you that you're going to continue to receive not that, and not just your career, but in all other aspects of your life. So even just one self-abandoning, even just in one realm of your life, often leads to sabotaging of the entire rest of your life. If you're willing to settle in that part of your life, then the universe is like, well, you're willing to settle. You want that energy in every other part of your life too. But say you have a great career and you have a great social life, but you're dating someone who you just don't see it for y'all. If you're in a phase in your life where it's like you're not looking for a serious relationship right now, then like genuinely, and not because you're just afraid, then okay, that's fine. But if you are in a phase of your life where you're like, I actually really want to start creating a family, I want to start working towards this, and you are accepting that into your life, then that's sabotage. And it's going to start reflecting, it's going to start impacting every other aspect of your life. Maybe this relationship is really draining you, and it's making you feel hopeless. And that starts to eke into your work life. It starts to eke into your emotional well-being. And so then you start to take things out on your friends, maybe, or your coworkers. You know what I mean? So this is why it's so important, like this Great Gathering card, like don't lose sight of what is important. Keep your eyes on the prize and continue to invest your energy into that. The majority of your energy needs to be going into that, okay? Balance your whole being, once again, with this tiger's eye. Oh, okay. Tiger eye is a gold-brown quartz displaying a light-reflecting optical phenomenon known as chatoyance, or cat's eye, that appears just below the stone's surface. Who needs it? The currently overthinking and mood-swinging Geminis and Virgos. Where to put it? In a string of prayer beads hanging from your middle finger, counted during meditation along with your blessings. When to use it? When your thoughts are not your friends, when reading Jungian theories or attempting to decipher a Zen koan, when you're all roar and not enough purr, when only equanimity of mind, body, spirit, left brain, and right brain can get you square with the universe. It really is about like being out of alignment. And this week is really calling us, like, I get the sense that we're going to be receiving opportunities to further step into our alignment of self. Okay, I usually use this deck for, are we moving on into practical advice? Is that what we're doing? No. But okay, I'll reshuffle. Yeah, 3D, what's happening? I feel like opportunities are trying to come in, and they are coming in. In some cases, they're trying to come in, but you're not yet a vibrational match because you are still allowing other things to take up space. So like, I'll use this example that I heard somebody, because I'll use the 3D examples because they're easier to relate to and understand. I heard somebody say, like, you know, if you're dating, this is for femmes, if you're dating a guy who, like, you break down on the side of the road and you have literally $0 in your bank account and you have to call roadside assistance, and the roadside assistance tells you that it's $200. It's like 11 p.m. Maybe you're even leaving this guy's house. And you try and call him, you can't get him, you text him, and he's just like, he doesn't offer to help you at all. But then the guy who works, but he has a great job, and he has a lot of potential, and maybe he's really good looking, but the guy who works for the roadside assistance is like, you know what, I got you, I'll pay the $200, don't worry about it. You know, and then you, they're like, oh, but like, can I take you out sometime? Granted, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, but you're like, oh, actually, I have a boyfriend. And she was like, the person that I was watching the video from was like, you are much better off going with this guy who works for AAA than pretending that you have a boyfriend, because you don't. This person doesn't care about you, your safety, your well-being. Why are they not putting you in a car to get home at 11 p.m. if you are a femme or just whatever? I guess actually maybe a dom. No, I don't like that. Either way, I know it's a very cis heteronormative example, but I think that it's something that everybody can understand. You know, like, this person may not be like having your idea of what you think a person should have, but even beyond that, it's like, it's really just the fact that you're like, oh, I can't date this person because I have a boyfriend, but this person isn't even there for you when you're in a literal emergency. Like, don't allow these things to take up space in your life where something actually aligned with you can be taking up space, and it may not be exactly what you think that it's supposed to look like. So maybe it's time to like ease up around what you think it should look like. And the initial example that I made is like, you want to have a job, like you want to have a professional styling business, you have an internship at a fashion magazine, and then you work at a cupcake shop. And you're like, oh, but like I can't do this gig because I have to work at my cupcake shop job. Like, go do the gig. Go do the gig, because you can get any other cupcake shop job. You can get any other barista job. Invest in what nourishes your soul, nourishes your spirit, and feeds your vision. And do that with the people who have the same vision, okay? So Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and hidden under that is the Four of Cups. And we get... So this is really, it really is about things that like we've been holding on to. I would say especially subconscious beliefs, limiting beliefs, those old narratives that we used to be aligned with. And they really came up over the weekend. So, you know, if you have experienced this consciousness shift over the weekend with this full moon that we had, you know, move forward with that. Move forward with that consciousness, this conscious awareness of how you're directing your energy, how you're using your energy. Time is money. Time is money, it really is. And your energy too, the energy that you use during that time, that's what you get paid for when you work a wage labor job. Wasting time with somebody that you don't even like, that's time that you can never get back, that you could have been spending enjoying your own company, investing in yourself, maybe at the spa, or like meeting new people. I'm thinking of that TikTok where the guy's like, I'm not doing anything that I don't like. I'm not doing anything that I don't like. And it's like really that type of energy. From here on out, but especially this week, like from here on out, because with the Devil card and then the Seven of Pentacles, this is saying that like, yes, exactly. Like, and with Recharge Your Good Vibes with Amber, all of this stuff, Five of Cups in the reverse, Ten of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles in the reverse, Three of Wands in the reverse, Seven of Cups, Five of Wands. All of this stuff was robbing you, was keeping you in prison of your own making or of your own perpetuation. Because even if it's like stuff that like it happened in childhood, you didn't create this, like you have actively contributed to perpetuating it in myriad ways. And that could be stuff that like you got to work through with the therapist, because, you know, the mind is an incredible thing that we still don't really fully understand. Any doctor worth their weight in gold will tell you that much. Any psychologist or psychiatrist, therapist will tell you that much. We do not understand. So this is stuff that, like, you know, pray to your higher power about, for them to reveal how to help you get free. And when that thing comes, lean into it, avail yourself of it, and actually like move from that space with expand your consciousness. Ground it in the 3D. Like, you know, I think the wizard Liz, I saw like on my explore page a screen cap of hers, and it was like, if you do what your higher self would do, then obviously you are going to become her. That's just logical. And it's as simple as that. It's just that simple. Because our character is made up by our actions. And let's go back and see that Mars is in Cancer in the 8th house. I really feel like this is about karmic liberation through our actions, curse breaking energy. Make the choice today that you're never going back to living that way that you used to live. King of Swords in reverse, 8 of Swords, Judgment, Ace of Wands, 9 of Pentacles in reverse. I really do feel like, people need to be accountable to the things that they've done, but we can't make anyone be accountable. We can offer them the opportunity to, but we can't make anybody. I feel like some of you had like a curse on you, or you had the evil eye on you. You had somebody cursed your family, and you had a monitoring spirit watching you, and sabotaging you. That's for somebody. I'm covering this up because it's stressing me out. Rebuke that energy. And it's been like leeching from your prosperity and from your abundance. And one of the ways that it sabotages you is by ingraining you with fear of showing up as your most authentic self, fear of showing up as your best self, fear of living your truth, fear of living in alignment and living your purpose. So you keep settling on things that are beneath you because you're afraid to get what you want ultimately. Or you're afraid that you're not going to be able to get it. Time is up. Spirit is saying that time is up on that. So you need to take accountability right now for the rest of your life. You get to rewrite these narratives, and this has been a conversation we've been having for at least over a year. It's time to rewrite the narratives. Knight of Pentacles. Go forth. Be that bee. You know how they say, like, I'm really him, Drake. I'm really him, or I'm really her. Be them. Be them. I use they, them pronouns, so be them. I'm really them. Like, honor yourself. Take a second to reflect on how powerful you are, how you've how you've gotten yourself this far. Instead of focusing on all of the not great stuff, focus on all of the really beautiful stuff. It's about optimism. It's about your perspective. And when you do that, you understand, like, well, I can choose to continue investing by showing up the best that I can in any given situation. And sometimes the best that you can show up in a situation is to not show up at all. So for people who relationships are ending in your life, you have like friends and stuff who you realize they're not actually your friends, or they like your standard, you got clear on what your standards of friendship are and they do not fit that mold. the best thing that you can do for them is to stop fucking with them, because that's going to be the wake-up call that they need at some point in the future. And ultimately, who cares about them? It's really about you. You stop fucking with them for your own sake. You know what I'm seeing also is like with this Devil card and with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this opposition, the opposition, Shaitan, the opposition is making it seem like, making you think that you are the cause of all of your problems, but it's not just you. Sure, you may have some maladaptive coping mechanisms that you have to renegotiate your relationship to. The Moon, hidden powers. But it's time for you to get free. It may not, it is definitely karmic inheritance. But Spirit's saying time's up. I'm seeing the rabbit on the Judgment card, and that to me is like new life. More life. More than you could have ever known. You're resurrected. In Aries, we have Jupiter, we have the North Node, we have Uranus, and we have Mercury, and they are conjunct at 26 degrees, exactly conjunct at 26 degrees. 6, that's 8, 13 and 14. 4 of Wands, the Star in reverse. So you need to experience this shift in consciousness, and you need to metabolize it, and you need to process it, and you need to express it before you start to witness the miracles in your life and the miraculous changes in your life. You have to put in the work. Sometimes that looks like stopping doing things. Stop going to those people, places, and things. Stop gossiping with people. You know what I mean? Like, if you have bad habits, stop doing them and replace. That's step number 1. Then step number 2 is replace them with something that's actually going to be a good habit, something that nourishes you, something that grows you, that feeds you. And then you're going to see how your confidence in yourself changes. And then when you're doing everything that you can possibly do, you know that things going wrong, it's not about you. Because you did everything that you could do. Nine of Swords, King of Wands in reverse. You're about to come into your abundance. You're about to come into your abundance. Even though you're not seeing it, don't let yourself get caught up in like, oh, it's never going to happen for me. Because we got the 5 of Cups in reverse. And we get the 10 of Pentacles. Everything is coming to you. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. 3 of Wands in reverse. 9 of Wands in reverse. 3 of Cups. The Empress. 10 of Wands in reverse. 7 of Cups. 5 of Wands. This is once again, like, this period that we're in. I don't know what it is in the chart that is making it this way. There's contention is what I'm saying, though. There's contention. There's an imbalance in your emotional life, in your spiritual life, perhaps. Maybe it's like hyper-dependence on yourself, and hyper-dependence, like hyper-independence creates it always comes in extremes. If you're not balanced, balance your whole being. If you're not balanced, and you try to do everything by yourself, that's a trauma response, but it 100% always leads to codependence on the person that you can find yourself trusting, over relying on that. So it's important that, like, we develop communities that are interdependent, where each person is self-sovereign. And then we can start to let our guard down and give some of our burden to other people. One example that I'll use is that I started saying this in terms of social justice and community organizing and things like this. I know that I care genuinely, and I know that I'm doing the work as much as I possibly can. So that stands to reason that with 8 billion people at least, with at least 8 billion people in the world, there's at least 100 other people who are genuinely doing the work. There are at least 100 other people who are genuinely doing the best that they can and are truly dedicated. So I don't have to take it all onto myself. I'm not Atlas. I don't have to do this all alone. I don't have to do this all on my own. So I can share the burden. When I need rest and rejuvenation and I need to recharge, I'm at 10% battery. I need to get up to 100% battery. Stop letting yourself get to 10% battery. Stop letting yourself get to 20% battery. That should only be a once in a while thing. When you get to 50% battery, it's time to plug your phone in. Especially if you know that you got to go out. But so many of us, especially if you're neurodivergent, I find this is a big thing with people who have ADHD. So many of us don't do that. We just let it rock until it's 30%. Oh my God, now I got to go out. You're sitting at home, your charger's right there, but you're not charging your phone. I do this all the time. But it happens especially when I'm working. So there's time blindness associated with ADHD, and like if I'm working, I'm not checking my phone, I'm not looking at my phone battery, which is I'm not supposed to be anyway, but like, you know, then it's time for me to record this, and my phone is not charged, and then I'm like, things are getting fucked up and the sound is getting fucked up because like alerts and alarms are coming on and stuff like that. So, you know, I can have a daily alarm, or I can put an alarm on for the days when I do this right after I get out of work, which is Friday. I do this on Sunday and Friday. For the days that I get out of work, to charge my phone at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. And then it becomes a habit. And then I don't have to worry about these things happening. See, I now know that this happens. In the past 2 weeks, I've come to understand that this is what happens, and the consequences I don't like. So I made sure that my phone was at least, I had 70% on my phone before I like started this live, and that's good for what I gotta do. We have to help ourselves. We have to help ourselves. We have the power to rewrite the narrative, not by entering into relationships that have the same dynamic and, oh, I'm finally going to change them. Stop worrying about them, codependent. Stop worrying about them and start figuring out yourself, self-sovereign. You're not going to feel the need to control other people if you are sovereign of yourself. Because you are understanding that I don't gotta deal with that. Before, you felt like you had to deal with that. So generational curses. Sometimes a generational curse is as simple as the effects of colonialism on your bloodline, on your culture. I'm Liberian first generation. Every living Liberian now is traumatized. Either first-hand trauma or second-hand trauma that has been inherited because of our civil war. We're a very small country. Okay, get out of here. So that's what I want people to understand is like some of these generational curses are behaviors, ways of being, ways of thinking, learned helplessness. Yo, if you are somebody who has been victimized by narcissists, one thing that I realize is I have to look at like where they seeded those behaviors in me. It does not mean that I am a narcissist, but it does mean that, like, you know, this desire to control other people is one of those ways. And when I decide to just control myself, exercise self-control, then I become self-sovereign, and then I can be interdependent. I can be in healthy interdependent relationships. I cannot come into union with my divine counterpart until that happens. As I said, lifestyle, not romantic relationship. So yeah, we talked about Capricorn and how Pluto retrograde at 5 degrees and 55 seconds in the second house, making a direct opposition to Venus at 5 degrees and 7 seconds in the 8th house in Cancer. And it's sharing space with Mars at 14 degrees, which is 5, and 34 seconds, which is 7, which is 12. Strength in reverse, Queen of Swords. And 22 degrees and 19 seconds, Dark Moon Lilith. Yeah, you don't need to be in control. You really just need to let spirit move you. Let spirit move you. Let your higher power inform your decisions. If you're just feeling like every time that you want to do something and you can't do it, like you just get distracted from doing it, it's because you're not meant to do it in that time, and it's going to get done when it's the right time. And your spirit team is keeping you from being able to do it. The only way that we can be self-sovereign is when we are yielding and surrendering to our higher power. Period. It's fuck you, pay me energy. We're tired of being lowballed. We're tired of not having like our needs met. We're tired of not being fulfilled. And this is the time when we take back our power. All you got to do is say no to the things that give you the ick, and say yes to the things that make you feel hella good. It's a No Doubt reference. But I will say with this 5 of Wands energy, it is fractious energy. Don't get caught up in the fray. Try to stay away from social media right now. Try to really like limit your social engagements with people. If you're still feeling very insular, that makes sense. Honor that. That's how it's going to be for the next few days at the very least. You know, if you're feeling a lot of heavy feelings, and it's because you're recognizing where you gave away your power. And I think that by you taking back your power, that is bringing you out of, you're coming back into alignment, and this is going to cause tension in your relationships. Let it happen. Just let it happen. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. Trust that, like, it's not the time to be like out there in the open and out in people's faces, because you're still downloading the new you. Those codes are still being activated. Okay, so let's get the practical advice and we'll wrap up, because I feel like we've been talking long enough. Thank you, Spirit. So practical advice for 3D relationships. Social life. Ooh. You get the Fool in reverse and you get the Emperor. Yeah, we do. Yes, we do get the Fool in reverse and the Emperor. You're at the end of your journey. You've learned the lessons that you needed to learn to understand how to be self-sovereign, to be in your power. So just to be the master of your domain. Because I don't like to use the imperial language. The master of your domain is what I prefer. It's also a Seinfeld reference. But we get 2 major arcana here. It's about taking back our power. Right now, it's not even about taking back our power. It's about standing in our power and not casting pearls before swine, not getting caught up in the fray. Everybody else, you've dug your roots deep. Everybody else in society may be getting swept away in bullshit, and like crap and nonsense. Not you though. You don't have to. You get to choose. You get to make the active decision. And I've said this before, there is rapid inflation happening. There is an economic crisis blooming and blossoming. There is so much hurt and anguish and trauma out in the world. There really is. And, a lot of us were very overstimulated. But if you've actually been listening and doing what I've been talking about on this channel, taking back your power and letting yourself rest, and not wasting your energy, then you might not feel as overstimulated as a lot of other people feel. We get the devil in reverse in the outgoing position, and we get the 5 of Cups. No longer operating from those disempowering paradigms and frameworks. And it might feel lonely. It might feel uncomfortable. But you need to have faith that everything is working as it's supposed to, as it's meant to. The intensity of our feelings is going to diminish as the moon has moved into Sagittarius by the time that I'm doing this reading. It should have anyway. I wanted to look at Pisces, where we have Neptune at 3 degrees and we have Chiron at 24 degrees, which comes down to 7. 19, that's 10, that's 1, that's 4, 6, that's in 47 seconds, that's 11, that's 2, but master number 11 here, that's 8, and that's in the 4th house. Yeah. I think I already said what the message is, but it's really about choosing yourself and having faith that something good can work. So, okay, people are like, I'll give this example, like some people around me seem to be acting super hyper, like very hyper vigilant. Like, I guess that they get the sense that like I'm not investing as much, I'm not as invested as I used to be in the relationships. And I think that they've been getting kind of hyper vigilant just by the things that they're saying. And it's because those relationships don't feed me, they don't nourish me, and they're not going to. They're not what's meant for me. And so I'm not going to continue investing in them the same way. I've already made my decision, period. And I'm not changing my decision. And so that might create some discomfort for a time, but because I made that conscious decision and now I am grounded, you can try and like make me feel some type of way, but I am certain of my decision, and I'm not going to let this have any emotional influence over me anymore. I already made my decision, so I know what's going to play out from here on out is that the new storyline is being grounded through me, because I am now also going to I'm switching up, I'm changing up, I'm doing things differently. I'm not over investing energy that I'm not going to receive back. I'm not overextending myself. No, I'm not going to. I've already done enough. When you make up for all of the ways in which you failed to fulfill me, there's as I said, the power imbalance. If it's supposed to be 50-50, a partnership. And sometimes it'll be 70-30, and then sometimes it'll be 60-40. But if overall it's always I'm giving 80% and you're giving 20%, you owe me 80% and I'm not giving you anything. So go back and watch the beginning of the live, because I talk about this and I don't want to spend too much time getting into it again. But you owe me being accountable, you owe me that. But if I know that I'm not getting that, I'm just not giving any more energy. If I have to be in this situation, then I'm always going to give 20%. And if you're always going to give 20%, then we're always going to give 20%. And it is what it is. That's some hi bye shit. Hey, what's good? Okay. I'm not calling them up anymore. Watch what happens when you stop investing as much energy into the relationship. And if they're like, hey, like, what's going on? We don't talk as much as we used to. Oh, I mean, like, you don't call me. The phone works 2 ways. You know? But if it's like, and I guess that's like maybe family relationships, things like that. Like if you got a baby daddy or a baby mama type relationship, you know, you have to be in that relationship, or like you're in a job and you have to be in the job, which was the initial example I made. Or you're on a social scene and you know that you're going to see your ex, you know, like if you can be on some hi bye shit, it's like everyone, I give 20%. I don't feel like that's not too much for me, you know, to say hello and be cordial. That's not asking too much for me. And that's all that it's going to be. It's not going to be anything more. But if they suddenly start showing up 80%, you know, that's a different conversation that we're not going to get into. But until I feel like there has been some accountability and things are in balance, I'm not investing. But yeah, as I said, now my actions, like I'm investing my time and my energy into manifesting this narrative, this new timeline. Oh, V used to be this and now V is that. I'm investing in becoming that. And so naturally logically it's going to manifest in the 3D world. But 5 of Cups is saying that people are going to be uncomfortable with you switching up. Oh, like you on Hollywood? No, I just fucking grew up. I became more sophisticated. I started respecting myself a little bit more. If you're 30 years old and you're still dressing like a 13-year-old, and your friend is 30 years old and has decided, you know what, I'm going to start dressing like my age. Or the example of like, I think Selena Gomez said it's like when she realized like, you know, I think she was like, I'm in my 20s, or like, yeah, I'm in my 20s. I have to stop expecting that I'm going to have a teenager body. But people who don't have that, they're out of touch with reality. They're delusional. They're mentally ill, honestly. This is a manifestation of, trigger warning here, disordered eating. And so they cause all this self-harm so that like they can have the body of a teenager. But it's like, yo, like you're 30 years old. You're never going to have the body of a teenager because you're not a teenager. That's something that I had to realize and accept in the past year. And I gained a lot more weight than I would have liked. And I think I probably was at the most that I've ever weighed in my adult life. And I accept that I'm never going to have that teenager body anymore. And I had to create a healthy relationship to my body. And now I'm almost 30 years old. I can't keep dressing like how I dressed when I was 18. I can't keep chasing that. Like some of you, it's that you need to reform your idea of your vision. Your vision needs to be readdressed, some of you. 10 of Cups in the reverse. I do feel like there's still lessons to be learned, and you're still purifying and clarifying, especially because it's still like the full moon energy is still petering out. Like the things that were illuminated, you're just processing that information. So allow yourself to just process, allow yourself to just feel how you feel. And if people have a problem with it, it's because, those people who are being hyper vigilant about like my energy switching up, it's because they know what it is. So I'm not going to worry about it. You worry about it. You're the one with the problem. I don't have a problem because I am doing what I have to do to take care of myself. So I'm not really worried. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? It's time. It's time. As I said, the time is now. Time's up. The crumbling. What are you clinging on to? What are you clinging on to? What is this doing for you even? All right, stop fooling around. Warrior woman. Mintakam. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. No in reverse. Awakening. Protection. This is a lot of spiritual warfare, I feel. There's a lot of spiritual warfare going on. The energy is going to be really supercharged. You're being awoken to your destiny because you're finally getting to the root of who you are and the essence of who you are. Your questions are being answered. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? The crumbling. That old paradigm can never ever come back. You're gonna have to lose some stuff. You gotta crack a couple eggs to make an omelet, and if you're hungry, you better get to cracking. You better get to mixing and beating and doing what you gotta do. Okay, let's get some love. I think that some of you are going to potentially quit your job. 5 of Swords in the reverse position. Oh, it seems like some love is coming in. It's because now you know what you want and what you don't want. And when I went to the restroom before, I saw like the back of this book that someone got me. And it was like, find a partner that inspires you to be the best version of yourself, not one that tries to change you. Hard work pays off. So tell the base god, don't quit your day job. It's like we've been content with losing. What's that song called? It's by Pro Era. It's on Joey Badass's first album, 1999. Tell the base god, don't quit his day job. It's like we've been content with losing. Tell the base. Okay. Oh. I never knew that it was because I never knew that Lil B first dissed them. Survival tactics. Niggas don't want war. I'm a Martian with an army of Spartans, sparring with a knife in a missile fight. True, true, true. A lot of the people who are trying to like come for you, they see that you're more powerful than them and they're just trying to undermine you. Don't even waste any time on these people. Some of you might have exes coming back, ex-friends, ex-lovers coming back, or they're thinking about you a lot and you can feel that. If you're thinking about them a lot and take it as it comes, but like a lot of you, it's because they're thinking about you a lot and you just need to like keep on saying no. Keep on being like, nope, nope, I rebuke you. Get thee behind me, Shaitan. Get thee behind me. It's funny. I'm not going to go into this anecdote, but it's an inside joke that I had with like one of my siblings and my cousin. But he was acting like wild and she goes like, get thee behind me, Liam. His name is Liam.